hopefully they get done with the red truck over here, so that way we can get in there and take it for a drive.
Yeah,
so
there we go. Welcome back to another episode. I'm excited to show you updates on the Exoskeleton. Had a couple guys commenting and asking, can't wait to see it, so here it is. The cage itself is off the truck, it's been skinned, it's prepped to go to powder coat. Few last phases on the safety side of the build, the seat belt installation and retrofitting of the interior, finalizing that, and then it's off to go to paint and everything else. Josh is over here now, kind of finalizing some stuff. Check in with him, see what he's got going on.
Right now I'm actually moving the seats around a little bit because I'm working on the center seat mounts. We've already got the outside seat mounts done and mostly done with the seat belts for the outside seats, but currently just finishing up the center seat mounts, that way they're not sliding all over the place. As you can see right now, we've got a seat bracket right here. It's not quite done yet. I still need to drill some holes down in here so we can bolt the front end down, but it'll wind up sitting about like that. And if you want to come around back, I can show you the rest of it. Now around here in the back of the truck, we've got the back side of the seat mounts. We've got 3 bolts going through the floor and actually catching a plate on the underside of the truck. So we're sandwiching the body of the truck rather than bolting it to this super thin body. We don't want anybody to get in a car accident and have the bolts pull through the body. We got a nice big old plate in there that's more than strong enough to hold the seat down. Now the reason we're making these seats so easily removed, not hiding the bolts underneath the seats or anything like that, is so we can remove the seats and access this access panel right here, which allows for easy access again to the top of the fuel tank, whether it be for the fuel sending unit, the breathers, or the fuel filler neck. You can get to all of that without any issues, without having to drop the tank or anything like that. Now we did wind up actually using the same stock fuel sending unit. That way you don't have to worry about upgrading any of that. It's nice and simple and clean, and it works exactly the same as stock.
Nice. I think that's crucial, utilizing the factory OEM stuff for that. The systems work with each other. It's the same ohm ratings for the gauge itself, yeah. And also replacement parts. You know, we're going to utilize the same gasket seal for that sending unit. It's just integrated into our tank that was made in-house. Yeah. I know one of the last hurdles we're playing around with was the seatbelt. You touched on it a little bit earlier there, but how is that going to work out? We've done the 6-person before. We've dealt with the rear seats, but with that seat notch, it obviously added a level of complexity to it.
Yes.
What did we end up doing? Could you share?
So basically, in the stock truck, the seat belts are mounted on the seat pillar, but since we moved the seats back, we had to remove the seat pillar, and where the stock mount was is too far forward, so it would make the seatbelt useless. It'd wind up floating over your chest. So we actually had to move the seatbelt mounting further back. So that's why we have these custom fender racks right here, so we can mount the seatbelt retractor and the little third shoulder point in the correct location. So that way, if there is ever an accident, you'll be just as safe, if not more safe, than the stock seatbelts.
I think that's key. You know, we have Exoskeleton. It's screaming safety from all the other additives, but we still want to retain that 3-point.
Yes.
You know, we're talking trying to do maybe a lap belt in the center, but again, we're trying to, you know, we are going towards the direction of getting that 3-point. Ideally, a seat like this we would do, or even an outfit like this, we do a 5-point harness, 4-point harness, like we do on most of our Humvee builds. But my vision for this truck is to have the exterior looking aggressive, the exoskeleton, everything else, but the interior to have that level of luxury in it. So kind of the best of both worlds, as it were. Yeah, well, speaking of the exoskeleton, I know that thing's prepped, ready to go to powder coat almost?
Just about. There's a couple small details, one final once over, clean up, and then it's about ready. Nice. We actually just skinned it. That way it can be used more as a roof rack as well. Right. So if we want to go take a look at that right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Now we're over here at the Exoskeleton. As you can see, we've got a whole bunch of aluminum paneling on it. Now the reason we've got the paneling on it and the reason we went with aluminum is because it's a lot lighter than steel and it's plenty strong enough. I can stand up here and there's no flexing at all. The reason for the paneling is so the Exoskeleton can still be used as a functional roof rack without smaller stuff falling through and just sitting on the roof, that way you're not putting big old dents in your roof. And as you can tell, we did go ahead and go with our existing search and rescue style rails, as I believe we talked about in a previous vlog, to still give it the look of our search and rescue roof rack. Throughout this process, it was a little bit difficult. 108 tabs, 108 holes, 108 nuts welded to the bottom, but I'd say it looks pretty good, especially when it's all bolted down.
Yeah, I think it's going to be key. Having this then followed up and treated with a texture coating. Probably go with the black. The truck's going to be a blue, Range Rover blue, a 2020 color. And then there's going to go our standard powder coat on the exoskeleton itself. Black texture material with the texture additive. So it's going to serve as traction when you're up here. A lot of customers tout about how they use these for spectating game when they're hunting, or even just out just checking stuff out and climb up here and see what's going on. Also, the traction will help when we have any luggage or anything else up here. In the past, I've actually made runners for our search and rescue roof rack that are pipe clamped so you can move them around, and it's a luggage retaining system. That may or may not be incorporated in here, but the traction on here will definitely get rid of how slick this is going to be. To further complement the end of this exoskeleton build is, how many lights are we putting on here?
It's actually 19 lights just on the exoskeleton.
So it's good. We'll definitely be able to get some visibility in your night ops. We're doing the Midnight Edition rigids, single row, but double stack. Pretty cool, looking forward to getting those out there, getting this electronics outfitted on this truck, and really seeing this thing light up. Thanks for sharing, man. I know you're busy, you got a full plate, you keep your crammed at work, but really good job on this. This thing's bang up. Looking forward to the next one we do.
Oh yeah, me too.
Am I getting your good side, Sanderson?
I think so. Hey, this might be kind of cool for everyone to see. U.S. Marines, they're a recruit vehicle. This is their Humvee. We swapped it out to a Duramax a good few years ago.
Wait, this is a military, like an actual
This is the
Marines?
Humvee. Yeah,
Why is it so flashy?
because it's their recruit vehicle.
Oh,
We did some pretty neat stuff. We've got a AV system that's got ammo boxes utilized.
a bunch of boxes.
The boxes,
too.
those are, look past those. We're actually, that's why it's in here. They sourced a set of wheels, the XDs. Cool look. We'll see how that, when those get installed, see how that works out. But it's kind of
those
neat.
are pretty cool.
Kind of a simulated B look. The XD wheels have really stepped up. You know, they improved some of their designs over the last few.
So this is like an event truck then, like a show truck, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is here now because it was kind of mothballed, even though it's got the Duramax, and they were utilizing their H1 probably for creature comforts, I would assume. But one of the last events, they blew the motor up. So
that guy's in trouble.
yeah, absolutely zero oil in it. So what was that? But it's a blessing in disguise. Just like everyone else I talked to that has engine issues, it's nice to get out of that 6.5, get that Duramax. This is kind of cool back here. Again, the ammo boxes, the monitors.
Oh, all kinds of show stuff, huh?
Yeah. So again, we're gonna rehab this, clean it up, make it look a little bit more presentable. And then again, this is their second of the fleet. Anyway, onto the different truck, a red truck as well. Those were. It's a horrible transition.
Yeah, a what truck?
Yeah.
So
Onto
what are we
another red
look
truck.
at right now, anyway.
The other red truck. We talked about this one back when DDE was here. You guys talked about it briefly. Mentioned the motor that was in there. And we didn't go into as much detail as we could have done. This one is our assault motor. It's a 20 overboard Duramax. It has the Cali's, nope, not Cali's, the Carrillo rods, Molly pistons, ARP head studs, main studs, all what you've usually heard us say. 30 over injectors. We dynoed it at around 700 horsepower. I think it's 1290 foot-pounds of torque, so a good amount. So it's pretty cool. This thing's a beast. The guy keeps adding more things to it. It's going to be going back to Texas here soon. We have the adapt lights from Rigid, which you have not seen on any of our builds before. Kind of cool. When we were out in SEMA, we met with Rich out there, and he went through their full rundown. And so we have the adapts front and rear. We have some S&L.
What's so special about the adapt lights? I mean, I know we went over it in SEMA, but people who haven't seen that episode, they're not going to know what that means.
Yeah, the adapt has a GPS system in there. One of these two boxes is for that.
Is there adapts on the front too? On the
yes,
front
we have a
brush
20 adapt on the front.
Can we maybe push the put the hood down so that way we can see those a little bit better?
That I can do. They're here. That's a good thing. While I'm doing it, the Viper holds that brush guard where it is because it's integrated in the brush guard, or integrated in the bumper. Sorry. We retrofit our mounts for the D-ring brush guard a couple years ago and incorporated a pin relocation to hold it open years ago, and other manufacturers have it. The brush guard swings all the way down. Sorry, a little bit of that. The rigid adapt has a backlight. This one's backlit in red. Has the GPS. So at your slower speeds, you're going to have more of a flood. As you pick up speed and accelerate, when you're needing that longer distance, it changes the profile of the light to that spotlight. Pretty cool. As every vehicle and every accessory add, I've tested it and ran up to where my place out in the hills, and it's phenomenal. I can see way down the road at speed. I slow down, it floods and it fills in the whole area. So pretty cool feature there on those lights.
So it looks like we've done a lot to this truck then.
Correct. Yeah, in a few phases. We're on like phase 4 now. And then we're not done with it. So he's going to run this for a little while and bring it back for the final phase, potentially, where we do the rest of the interior. We did dress up his seats. We did a double stitch diamond pattern, which I think looks great. It's got classiness to it. But eventually the interior is going to be rewrapped and redone with that alpha dash that we talked about on yesterday's episode. So anyway, we'll get in here. We'll get some drive time with it here shortly. But we've got the wheels, we've got the shocks, he's got that big Duramax you just described. This has our rock rails without the step. He complemented that with our first generation of our deployed step. And right now he's got everything disconnected because he's working on the wiring in the back.
So normally they'll automatically come out and then drop down, right?
Yep. Gotcha. They step down. And that's the XL version. Again, it's our first gen. We've cleaned up the install since then, or changed the install, should I say. But the XL version does drop down almost 12 inches, so it's a pretty good step.
Nice.
It has a 4-inch lift, 2-inch body, 2-inch suspension, and these 40s wrapped around the 20-inch simulated beadlock, so it sits pretty tall. But even then, like when I took this guy, quick side note, bear with me here. Customer come out, wants to go test drive it. I get in and run around a little bit, exercise the throttle. Thought he'd be happy with it. He gets in and continues to drift around every one of the corners here. Turns out he's a little race car driver. Took years off my life. I couldn't get the seatbelt strapped fast enough. It's nuts. Drifting in 40s. I'm looking out my passenger window as we're going around the jets. Yeah, I'm still
That's what we needed to
I'm
get
still a
on
little
film.
shooken up from that. So moving around the back here is the last of this phase. He just sourced these. It's the larger of the S&O.
Those are those new rigid lights too, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we talked about those and well, Rich went over with those at SEMA with us.
Yeah.
So what's so special about those? Because again, not everybody's seen that episode, so.
Yeah, no, it's a 2-piece light. I'm utilizing it in the smaller version on some of our upgraded bumpers. So it has a brake reverse type of function, but it has a perimeter light and then a functional regular standard LED light. So it's 2-part. He really likes his accent lighting, like you see with the Adapt that has that backlit in red type of thing. Kind of like the Radiance that we did on the UAE truck, but that was all in blue. So, you know, he's going through, wrapping that up now. You'll see the behind the scenes look of our winch install here and how that's done. And yeah, we're just ready to get going. As soon as he wraps
we're gonna take this out for a drive here, for a spin?
That's the idea. Yeah, he's got to kind of close up shop here, kind of wrap this up. Looks about done. And then we go rip it around, see how it is.
All right.